Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for Monday, September 16th, 2024. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest interpretation of weather news and weather conditions in the lower 48 and sometimes beyond. Right now, we're just looking at the current watches and warnings courtesy of Radar Scope. And right now, we're looking at the severe thunderstorm warnings here. We have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings here. This one here is in Oklahoma. Severe thunderstorm warning for hail. Most of these have to do with hail and straight line winds. This is in Woodward County in northwestern Oklahoma. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail radar indicated. Hail damage to vehicles is expected, and they expect wind damage to roof siding and trees here. Severe thunderstorm will remain mostly over rural areas of east central Woodward County. So this is just well to the east of Woodward, some 40 or 50 miles here. And this will remain over Woodward County here in western Oklahoma. Now looking out, continuing here, we also have North Dakota has a severe thunderstorm warning for 1-inch hail and severe winds up to 60 miles an hour. Most of this is straight line winds, and as you can see, it's progressing here along a bow echo here, moving kind of an odd direction from southwest to northeast here. Mount Carmel, Dresden, Loma, North Dakota here, right along the Red River Valley here. These showers continue, extend all the way up through Miami Valley, Winkler, North Dakota, and on into Canada there. They extend up the Winnipeg and Saskatchewan, Canada, the prairie land here. Also some strong storms here in Minnesota here. We don't want to forget you guys. Severe thunderstorms here in Minnesota. This is radar indicated. Once again, 1-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds here. Thief River Falls, Old Mill State Park. This is for Marshall County, Kinston County, and Rousseau County in northwestern Minnesota. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. So make sure you bring your vehicles in the garage or carport, as this could cause some damage here. This is training. These storms are moving over the same areas here from Middle River, Newfoundland, Viking, Minnesota, up to Greenbush, Badger, and up towards the Arrowhead of Minnesota here. So these storms here are moving toward Canada and Saskatchewan and prairie land. All these storms here are severe thunderstorm warnings. We also have one out west here in Idaho, Oregon area. Another one here for Idaho and Oregon, Maher and Owyhee counties here in Idaho, just to the north of Boise, Idaho. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and 1-inch hail seem to be the primary factor here. This is circulating around a low pressure system out here west, and these rains are percolating here south of Boise along the border here between Nevada, Idaho, and Oregon. Once again, these storms are moving and propagating, providing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and 1-inch hail here, just about maybe 2-3 hours south of Boise, Idaho. 1.5-inch hail here according to radar, and only moving 13 knots here. Very slow moving storms here, providing heavy rainfall down here to the south here to Jordan Valley and the Air Force Base there in Idaho. So just keep out for that as mine. Now, we also have flash flood warnings, flash flood advisories here for the remnants of this tropical rainstorm here in North Carolina. North Carolina had flash floods extending here into Columbus County and Bladen County here. This includes Whiteville, Lake Waccamacar, Wilmington area. They got hit. A lot of kids got picked up early from school today because of the flash flooding that's ongoing or expected shortly. So if you come along Highway 17 there, be careful. I-40 coming out of Fayetteville. Be careful there. Coming up through Wilmington, Warsaw, Whiteville, Lumberton on I-95. Be careful. Flooding that always floods between St. Paul's and Lumberton and Rowland, North Carolina, and Dillon, South Carolina. Those areas are getting heavy rain right now. As you can see, it's this training effect as these bandings come in here off the Atlantic from this tropical rainstorm. It didn't acquire a name. It wasn't subtropical, but it is feeding a lot of moisture here as it continues to pump that moisture in here across Jacksonville, North Carolina, Wilmington, Kings Landing, Havelock, and the southern Outer Banks, Morehead City, and New Bern, North Carolina. They continue to feed into I-40 and I-95 between Smithfield, Enfield, Wilson, Dunn, North Carolina, up towards Nash County and Rocky Mount. Raleigh-Durham is getting heavy rain now. If you come along the 540 outer loop on towards in Raleigh-Durham, be very careful, as well as the inner loop 440. And then if you're coming along between Sanford, Holly Springs, down towards Pinehurst and Rockingham, North Carolina. Charlotte, you're just on the eastern side there on 485 loop. You got heavy rain coming into you. Rock Hills coming into South Carolina as well. Lancaster, South Carolina. Monroe, North Carolina, and Concord, North Carolina, up through Greensboro. Heavy rain continues to stream in here, and that's basically covering the about a third or eastern third of eastern North Carolina and upstate, Midland, South Carolina here, just north of Columbia, coming along 77 there. If you come along 77 into Rock Hill, Indian Land, South Carolina, into Charlotte, the southern suburbs there, you're seeing that heavy to moderate rain denoted in the yellow there. So be very careful on those roadways as well. Flash flood warnings extend into Mississippi, in the Mississippi Delta here. You guys were dealing with the remnants of the remnants of the tropical storm that came through there a couple of days ago. So there's still rains coming along Madison and Ridgeland, Interstate 220 and the Jackson there. Flash flood warnings were observed between Hanging Moss Road and Beasley Road. Between 1 to 3 inches have fallen there in that area. Flash flood is already occurring there, so be careful if you're in that area. Pearl, Mississippi, just to the east, southeast of Jackson, Ridgeland, Flowood, and so the radar site here is propagating. But we have these popcorn showers here that are providing these rains here in the Mississippi Valley Delta, anywhere from Greenville, Yazoo City, back toward Jackson. Like I said, 220, Pearl, Canton, Crystal Springs here. Those areas are getting hit hard now. So flash flood warnings are in effect for those areas, in addition to North Carolina and the South there. And the rest of the flash flood warnings are up north in North Dakota and Minnesota, as I showed you. And those are the current warnings that we have right now. So we overall, though, looking at the big picture, we just have a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings that are dealing with hail and straight line winds overall. No tornadic threat. And flash flooding, of course, huge in southeastern North Carolina. So if you got friends in New Bern, Jacksonville, North Carolina, Whiteville, Lake Waccamacar, down to a 17, US 17 up through Wilmington and all those areas, Cure Beach and all those areas down there, you want to let them know that to stay indoors and stay safe, because there could be ponding on the roads, hydroplaning, flooding going on there, as well as in our friends in Jackson, Mississippi. Elsewhere, it looks pretty clear across the country. Some clouding up in the northeast, but temperatures are pretty moderate for this time of year. This is the last week, and we're going into fall equinox next week on the 23rd of September. So look forward to that as well. This has been your Weather Guru watches and warnings update for September 16th, 2024. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the next episode.